Thanks for joining me today for Sustainable Development for Small Business. I'm Tracey Lloyd, Director of the Art of Creative Strategy, and today we'll go through the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and I'll share some tips on how small businesses can implement changes to their processes and procedures that will assist the world in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable development is about balance. It is the balance of people, profits, and the planet. It's a management methodology that aims to meet the needs of today without impacting the needs of the future. It can be implemented by any business, regardless of size. There are a number of benefits of sustainable development. It lets you have a positive impact on your local community. It can give you a competitive advantage. Think about your last purchasing decision. If you're wanting to support the environment, you may have chosen to purchase a product that had a higher green rating than another product. You may choose to purchase recycled materials. Entering into sustainable development practices also prepares you for starting to supply to government and larger enterprises. A number of tenders that I've looked at recently have had requirements for environmental management plans. Now, as a small business, you may think this is beyond you, but as a COVID response strategy, a number of local councils, and Moreton Bay Regional Council, my local council is one of them, have implemented preferred supplier relationships for local businesses. Sustainable development and planning for sustainability also reduces the risks of negative associations for your business. We've all seen the $4 t-shirts that you can buy. We've all seen the news footage of the sweatshops in Bangladesh and countries like that, where people are working in horrendous conditions, and sadly, in a number of cases, they are losing their lives. That is a decision as business owners that we need to determine whether we want this to be an association we want for our business. Sustainable development planning asks you to make those decisions. The UN developed a number of sustainable development goals. These practices underpin an approach by the UN to improve the world, to reduce poverty, to increase equality, to improve the way that we do business, and to improve the impact that our lives have on our climate. There are 17 goals, the first of which is no poverty. The overarching goal is to end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Goal 2 is closely aligned to the eradication of poverty, and it is the ending of hunger. To end hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Both of these will improve Goal 3, ensuring healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Learning opportunities around the world are another way that we can improve the way that we all live. Gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls is Goal 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals. Clean water and sanitation. We're lucky in developed countries to have good sanitation. However, in southeast Queensland, we certainly all know the impact of a lack of water. We've been living in drought conditions for more years than I choose to remember, and we've all become very good at managing our water. Affordable and clean energy. We all know that energy costs are rising, and the impact of coal-fired power stations has a devastating impact on the natural environment. Goal 8 is around decent work and economic growth. This is a goal where small businesses can have a considerable impact in the way that they choose to do business within their community. Together with industry, innovation and infrastructure, COVID-19 and the year that 2020 has shown that businesses, when forced to innovate, are very fast innovators and very good innovators. If we can build a new economic society that is based on improving the way we do business, then we have a roadmap for a sustainable economic future. We are still a world of haves and have-nots. And goal 10 is around reducing the inequalities within and among countries. Goal 11 is another impact goal for small businesses. It's around making cities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. This is where you can have an impact on your local community and create a community that you want to see. I was at a recent workshop with some people from the small town of Sanford in southeast Queensland who successfully campaigned to stop Woolworths moving into their community. And then when that campaign was over, they were approached around, well, it's all very, very well and good to say what you don't want, but what would you want your community to look like? The action group behind the anti-Woolworths campaign took this on board, and they've now created a number of urban farms and other initiatives in Sanford to ensure that their community will be sustainable going forward. Responsible consumption and production. So we saw the panic buying that occurred at the beginning of COVID. To be honest, I didn't actually believe people were panic buying toilet paper until I went into my local Big W and saw the empty shelves and went, hang on, what's normally on those shelves? Yes, they were the toilet paper shelves. It was something I never thought I would see in Australia. I've certainly seen, peak buying at Christmas and during the sales and stuff like that. But goal 12 is around how we ensure that people and products are able to have enough for everyone. Goal 13 and the following goals get into a way that we can combat climate change and the impact that climate change will have on our world, on where people live, and on how people live. Goal 14 continues the climate approach, and that's around using the ocean, seas, and marine resources sustainably. Goal 15 comes back to the land. Again, it's around managing land so that we don't lose our biodiversity, so that we combat desertification, and so that we can improve land degradation. Goal 16 is around promoting an inclusive and peaceful society with access to justice, accountable, effective, and inclusive institutions. Goal 17 is around partnering to achieve the goals. And whilst this goal is predominantly aimed at government institutions, there are partnerships that smaller businesses can take part in. If you look at some of the revitalisation projects in areas like Newcastle a few years ago, where business and the community comes together to revitalise the main streets of towns through innovative projects, through pop-up shops, giving artists an opportunity to create a new shop, new enterprises, social enterprises. So the goals that I'd like to focus on today, as I feel these are the goals where small businesses can take easy steps to make changes to processes, to enable the world to meet our needs, but without impacting the needs of the next generation. Goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Goal 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. Goal 11, sustainable cities and communities. Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. Goal 13, climate action. And Goal 16, peace, justice and strong institutions. Now, further on in the presentation, I actually work through an example for you of how a business can choose some goals to prioritise. Within the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, each business will approach their goals in different ways. They will be drawn to different goals. Their processes and the products that they sell or the services that they provide will align with different goals. For my business, as a business coach, business consultant, and information provider, I work predominantly within Goal 8, Goal 9, and Goal 11. They are my target goals. They are the goals where I feel that my business can have its best impact on achieving the goals throughout the world. And I do this through working with other businesses and showing other businesses how they can impact the goals, and teaching businesses about the Sustainable Development Goals and helping them work out where the alignments are with their business. So if we look at Goal 8, and as I said before, Goal 8 is around decent work and economic growth. Its ideal is to promote sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth with full and productive employment and decent work for all. Decent work for all, for me, is the key in this goal. And it is an area where I feel that small businesses, their current practices are already contributing to these goals. Other ways that you can support this goal is to look at supporting social enterprises and fair trade organisations through your supply chain. This can be as simple as buying your coffee from a fair trade supplier rather than from a mass market producer. And I mean the coffee that you just drink in the office. You can also use social enterprise. There's a number of social enterprise cafes that also offer catering and meeting rooms. So looking at those solutions, another area that you can work through is when you're employing people. Talk to your local employment providers. See what skills they have of people in their databases. A number of people are looking for employment, particularly at the moment with the challenges throughout tourism, the creative industries, retail. There's also opportunities there for you as a business to utilise the government grants. Another couple of really simple ones that are requirements under legislation in Australia as well, ensuring your workplace is safe and that you're paying people properly. We've all seen the Fair Work news stories where large organisations have made terrible mistakes within their pay runs, and this has meant that people have been inappropriately paid. This doesn't create a decent work for people and is in breach of the Fair Work Act. So making sure that you've obtained appropriate advice when you pay people, that you've appropriately had the award, if you're paying against the award, assessed, that you have a workplace that is safe, not only meets your legal requirements as a business owner, but it contributes to ensuring that we have decent work for all. Innovation, change, it is one of my favourite areas to work in. I love making small changes that have big impacts. I love seeing the growth of people as they go through a change program. And I love seeing the skills that have developed and the ideas that come out. A number of people are scared of change because they feel that you need to be creative and that they're not a creative person. We are all creative beings. It's how humanity has survived for the millennia that we have survived. And this goal, Goal 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, focuses on building resilient infrastructure, promoting, enhancing and sustainable and inclusive industrialisation and fostering innovation. So it sounds really simple. Continuous improvement programs. They are a great way to embrace learning opportunities, to look to the future, to gather the ideas from your teams and from your customers. It is a big area of continuous improvement that can get forgotten about. Your customers and your suppliers can have great ideas around how your business could make improvements. And these don't have to be massive projects with 60,000 project pages and we're going to do this and we're going to change the world. A continuous improvement program can be as simple as a suggestion box on a desk. The key to the continuous improvement program, though, is actually getting those suggestions, documenting them, and assessing them. This can be done in a spreadsheet. Date of the suggestion. Is it feasible? Are you going to roll something out? From an example of a continuous improvement suggestion program that I have run personally, I had just boxes. I developed some cards, put some boxes out amongst some sites. This was in a disability support service where there was a lot of remote working in terms of people being away from the main office, not teleworking as we do now. And we came back with some suggestions that since people didn't get to see each other very often, how about we had a barbecue once a month that people could come along to. That started fostering a lot more innovation. We started the barbecue, and because the person who had suggested it could see the result, then more ideas came and came and came. Very simple process, but the cultural change was massive. There's also a lot of innovation challenges that you can take part in, and you can make them a bit of fun. And you can work with other businesses. You can engage with experts in innovation. You can talk to people around human-centered design. So much fun that can be had in the innovation space. And it doesn't necessarily have to be flashy and exciting. It can be people just getting together and putting post-it notes on a wall and then working out which one and which order we do things in. And my favourite way of measuring innovation and ensuring that you manage sustainably and that you develop sustainably is using the balanced scorecard approach. A balanced scorecard is going to be a webinar on its own, and I could talk to you about the balanced scorecard all day, but I'm very conscious of the time that we have today, and I really want to take you through the sustainable development implementation example. So the balanced scorecard ensures that you don't just look at the financial metrics related to your business. Certainly, financial metrics are a very key indicator of your business's health. We can't pay our staff unless we have cash flow coming in. We can't pay ourselves unless we have cash coming in. We need to ensure that what we buy something for and what it costs us, we make more than that back. All of those accounting concepts, and cash flow, and all of that is important. But somewhere along the way, we focused on that as the only reason and measurement tactic. The balanced scorecard is a 4-quadrant approach. It looks not only at your financial measures, but it looks at the impact on people. It looks at what processes are you using and what processes do you need to use to ensure that you can continue sustainably. It also, I'm sorry, I have just had a little balanced scorecard brain fade despite the fact that I can talk about it all day. I'm actually going to bring the balanced scorecard in there. It also looks at your customers. What do your customers need going forward? And what learning and growth opportunities is there for your business and for the people within your business? And what do we need to get better at in the business? Again, tied to a continuous improvement program, the balanced scorecard gives a very holistic view of your business and how you can move forward and where you need to move forward. Sustainable cities and communities. This is about making cities inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. As I was talking before about the Samford community, advocating for the city that you want to see, talking to your local councillors, your local MP, reviewing their policy platforms when it comes to election time. These are all ways that you can contribute to improving your city's and community sustainability. Participating in programs like Neighbourhood Watch and other community revitalisation and renewal projects is another way that takes very little effort to have a big impact on the community. When we look at responsible consumption and production, this is we're looking at for producers and retailers, looking at how your products can be recycled at the end of their life. Offering the option for customers to bring back products that are past their use by so that you can have them recycled. Thinking about your sales offers as well. Buy one, get one free offers encourage a lot of additional consumption that many times will end up going to waste, particularly in the food area. Climate action, choosing environmentally friendly products, choosing the recycled product over the newly manufactured product, encouraging customers to support climate action, so bringing your own bags, charging for bags, those, really encouraging people to think about whether they need bags, offering services online so that people don't need to travel, supporting efforts in your community. So participate in a tree planting day, go out and do cleanup days. Peace, justice and strong institutions is another, like goal 11, again, is about making the world more inclusive and more welcoming. So ensuring that you have inclusion and diversity policies and procedures and training. Celebrating days like harmony, both within your business for the staff, but also with your customers. Creating a small display if you have any form of shop front or office front, encouraging people to share their stories. Obviously, this is a lot more difficult now with COVID, but we can do the same things through things like Facebook groups and interacting on social media. So we've gone through the goals. I hope you have a little bit more of an understanding of how they fit into the world. How do you implement them when you're a single person operator or you have a small team? So the first step is, of course, to understand. And I've only very briefly touched on the goals today. There's a lot of available reading. The UN has a lot of very good materials, and I will be providing some of these resources at the end of the session in the documentation that I'll be forwarding to you all. Then you look at prioritising which goals it is that most align to your business and to your personal values and your organisational values. Then start setting some goals for your business. Remember, of course, to use the SMART goals framework, so specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time framed. And they don't have to be big steps. This is a journey, not a race. Every business is going to approach the SDGs differently. Every business approaches their market development differently. Every business is different, and your journey is no less important or no more important than the business next to you. It is the combined actions that will make the world a better place. Then start to integrate those goals and the changes that you've decided on within your business. And finally, start telling people about what you're doing. Start telling them about those changes that you've made and the reason why you're making those changes. Communication is inbred in humans. It is the way we are natural storytellers. We want to share our stories. We want to have people hear what we've got to say. We want to have a legacy. And storytelling is the way that we have done that legacy and created that legacy through millennia. We still refer to the great stories. We still refer to fairy tales that have their origins within the Middle Ages. We still perform Shakespeare. We still have ceremonies, cultural ceremonies that have gone on since time immemorial. Gathering and communicating is what we do. We are pack animals. And this is, for me, one of the biggest keys to the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. It's around talking. It's talking to your teams, talking to your customers, talking to people within society, other business owners, to the local council, to the footy club, to everyone that you can around what the changes you're doing and why. And you don't just have to talk. You can tell your story through social media posts, through videos, through newsletters, and I will come to communication in our example. So I'm looking at for an example, I've chosen to focus on a retail gift shop located in a main street shopping strip. So we're in a bit of a tourist area. It's one of those, it's not within a shopping centre. It is a main street shopping strip. So everyone has a shop front that focuses out onto the road. So understanding. So our business owner has learnt about the Sustainable Development Goals. Person's read the UN web pages. Hasn't not just understands the SDGs, but also has done some research and understanding of the retail industry and its opportunities and challenges. Again, if you're not familiar with doing that kind of industry research, I have a webinar coming up in December, I think that one is, that will actually take you through how to understand statistics, where to find them, how to then use them to create scenarios for what the industry might do and where your business can then move into the spaces that you can create. So we then look at prioritising. So our retail gift shop has said, you know what, I'm on a main shopping strip. I'm part of the roadway. It's really important to me that I'm part of this community. It's where I live as well as where I have my business. So I'm going to look at sustainable cities and communities as one of the goals that I contribute to. And I sell gifts. I'm going to look at how I source those. I'm going to look at what impact I have on the climate and what I can do to improve the climate. Goal setting. So for sustainable cities and communities, our business owner decided that Neighbourhood Watch was the way to go. There is an existing Neighbourhood Watch group here within the community, and the owner has decided that over the next 12 months, Business Gift Shop will attend one Neighbourhood Watch meeting per month. For climate, single-use paper bags. Reduction in the number of customers using those by 10%. We have very focused goals here, as you can see. The SMART goal framework has been used for both goals. They are specific. What's going to happen? Attending Neighbourhood Watch, reducing the use of single-use paper bags. We have timeframes of the next 12 months. We have achievable, so 1 meeting per month, 10% reduction. And they are both measurable. We can, at the end of 12 months, we can say, yes, we attended 8 of the 12 meetings, or we attended all 12. Tracking the use of paper bags. It can be done through how many bags did I have to purchase. Okay, I purchased 30 at the beginning of January. By June, I'm purchasing 25, and so on. So you can actually see and measure those targets. How the goals are great. How do you then implement those into a smaller business? Our business owner had a chat to all of her staff who worked within the gift shop and said, hey, look, I've decided we should take part in Neighbourhood Watch as a way for us to have an impact on a positive impact on the community and contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals. Who's interested in attending on behalf of the organisation some of the Neighbourhood Watch meetings and events and getting involved? Number of staff say, yeah, you know what, that sounds really good. I'm happy to make sure that we have a safe area that we work within. You know, our shop closes up at Thursday, 9 o'clock on Thursday night. I want to know that I'm safe walking back to my car and stuff. So it becomes another line on the roster. Who's going to the Neighbourhood Watch event this month? With climate action, again, toolbox talk with the team. We're going to amend the point of sale procedures to ask our customers about whether they'd rather purchase a reusable bag than having a single-use plastic bag, or paper bag. Another area here that you could do as a gift shop is that you can actually buy in some fair trade. There are some wonderful little fair trade material gift bags made from recycled material. That can also become a change that you could run alongside this integration and this improvement. So I talked a lot before about storytelling and about how we as humans have a need to tell stories and need to understand through the mechanism of story. So our gift shop uses their newsletter, it uses the website, it uses social media platforms, it uses chatting to people at the Chambers of Commerce meetings, you know, talking to the local newspaper around what they're doing with their climate action goal and their sustainable cities goal. It's not just around saying, hey, we're doing this, yay, look at us, something great. But it's also about taking everyone on that journey with you and showing the progress that you've made, showing where you find that, hey, this didn't quite work, but we've thought about it and done this instead. There's a lot of really cool ways that you can create stories to share with your customers and with your other stakeholders. And I have a storytelling webinar coming up in January to start the new year. So thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you today about the Sustainable Development Goals. If you have any questions, yeah, there's an opportunity to pop them through. If I can't get to them today, I will, wait a couple of days and send out some responses with the emails. And yeah, if you'd like any further information, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I have my website, www.artofcreativestrategy.com.au. Thank you very much.